Hey, welcome back to Let's Fix Something. Today we're going to talk about these bad boys, ski spreaders. Roll the intro. Hey, so welcome back. I put these ski spreaders on that I got at a swap meet about a year ago. Let's go through the pros and cons and see if we can weigh out which one's going to be better and what the final decision is going to be for ski spreaders. All right, here's a look at the stance of these things. So you can see in my Puma over here, as a comparison to this machine here, you can see what the stance is. So pretty much kicking out about 3 inches out and about 3 inches forward. One of the cons is that you are putting a side load at all times on your ski spindles as well as your ski spindle bushings. So there's going to be additional wear and tear and things to think about when you put these things on. Next is the skis always seem to be tipped at a funny angle. No matter what I do, they just tend to be sitting tipped in, and they just don't sit right. They're just not engineered. The geometry is just not right. So I think that's going to be a con. Next is you have to lose your shock mounts. Now I permanently cut these off just for the look of it, but if you have shocks on your skis, you won't be able to use them when you're using ski spreaders. Okay, one observation is your steering geometry is all off. You can see as I turn the handlebars, I'm not moving on a pivot, I'm moving on a separate plane when I move the handlebars. And what that's doing is it's increasing the turn radius. So I thought I wanted these for ditch banging, for stability, for having all kinds of fun. And I found myself, I don't want to say running into stuff, but I found myself having to stop, move the sled around because I don't have the same turning radius I do with my other sleds. See the difference? The other thing I experienced is now that I've got the pivot of this bolt is now an imaginary line that's like 3 inches forward. So that gives you about 3 more inches of ski on the front than you do in the back as you normally would in your stock cat. When you break through some crust or break through some powder, the front of the ski now overpowers the rear of the ski, thus making the sled dig in and making it more unstable. And I found myself almost getting bucked off because the sled is catching because the ski is just being forced in the air. So that's going to be another con to think about. Finally is handlebar force. I find that it takes more effort to turn my sled with ski spreaders than my non-ski spreader sleds. So it's just more effort on the bars in order to do less. Literally, to turn less, it takes more effort. What I do like is when I'm on the sled, especially on this, my Rat Cat Lynx here with the tall bars, I do have more stability side to side. But the sled wants to dart back and forth. It's just unstable overall, and there's just too many cons against the pros. What I think is that, well, they do add stability, left to right. I just don't think it's worth all the cons to get that. Another thing to consider with ski spreaders is if you look at a standard vintage Arctic Cat here on the left, my Puma Custom, compared to the Lynx on the right, things start to get a little bit tight. If you have 2 sleds with ski spreaders, it's going to get real tight in a standard width trailer. The other thing is it kicks your skis forward. So now you don't have enough space, or it's really tight on your trailer. So this is a 12-foot, Vino's trailer. I've got a full-size Panther, the 73 up there. These 2 short sleds, but they're darn near touching in the back just so I can clear and shut the door. So another thing to consider. The last part is no matter what you do when you're trying to wrestle these into the trailer, these skis are always hanging out. They're like ears on a on a 8-year-old boy. They just hang out all weird, and they're always catching on stuff. So I don't know, it's just something to consider for ski spreaders loading on your trailer. All right, so we weighed all the pros and cons, and I think the cons far outweigh the pros. So the old ski spindles are getting a delete. I'll be at ERX 2023, not doing much filming this year, but having some fun, and going to do my final decision about keeping them off. For now, we're getting rid of them, and I hope this video kind of helps you decide, hey, should I order those from Dennis Kirk or not? Maybe, up to you. I think that does have some benefits, but overall, for vintage Arctic Cats, big old thumbs down. Pitter patter, see you on the next one.